as we move into the month of Ramadan, it started for many Muslims on Thursday evening or Friday, Thursday evening, I'd say. And so 1.8 billion Muslims are participating in Ramadan, but it's within this global pandemic. Yeah. And so, as you know, I know you're familiar with Islam, like maybe through me and through your own readings, of course. But Ramadan is very communal, it's very community oriented. We break fast together, we pray together in the evening. And our prayers are where they tell us to like have no space between the next person and the next person.
Yes.
In the COVID world, that is not possible. And so we're not able to go to the masjids or the mosque at this time. And I fear that some people feel really disconnected to this month. And so I'd love to hear kind of your feedback on how, with this religious holiday, do we
Yeah.
stay engaged? And I know other faith communities have also gone through this with Easter and Passover. And so I know we're not alone here, but we'd love to hear your feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And it's also okay to like uniquely acknowledge how this is particularly impacting your religious community, right? Because the way Ramadan is celebrated is different than even Easter is celebrated or many other holidays. So when you think about the fact that this holiday involves a lot of community, a lot of family, I mean, a lot of presentness with self and other, a lot of like focused prayer, and now you're by yourself maybe, looking at your same family members that you've been with. Maybe your like meals or the way that you're breaking fast looks and feels different than it normally does. Like maybe a grandmother always makes it and now you're by yourself trying to recreate it and you're like, it doesn't taste the same.
Listen, FaceTime to get the recipes. Okay, that's what I've been doing.
Right? They're probably walking you through it and you're like, this isn't looking like the way you make it. Right? And that can be really challenging. So acknowledge that this holiday is going to feel different than previous ones. But it also does not set the trajectory for what all future Ramadans will be. This month is an isolated experience that hopefully we as a nation, country, and Islam as a religion will not have to experience again. And it might be a time to kind of reflect on what are other things you can learn about yourself and your community through this period of distancing, right? In what ways can you find a presentness and a peace through prayer that can make this feel manageable? And that might be doing community service work or connecting with your community in different ways. It might mean maybe you make some meals and deliver it to people, right? That could be a way of connecting with your community, doing the service-oriented part where you're caring for others, but by having some distance. It could be doing prayer on your own because the digital fatigue feels like too much, right? It could be breaking fast via Zoom. And it won't be the same, but it's really nice sometimes when you have everyone who you would otherwise be breaking fast with, all just kind of yelling over each other constantly without clear direction and with no words being really said while you eat and remain confused as to how this is helping you feel connected. But it probably does, because you're like, oh, great, none of us wait for the other person to stop talking before someone else starts.
Yeah.
That's first gen America. We don't listen to each other.
Right, but a lot of communities, the communities of color in particular, their ways of communicating are different.
Yeah.
Right? It's not often this first person speaks, 3-second pause, second person speaks.
No, not at all.
It's normally everyone yelling with love at each other about something insignificant, but with lots of passion.
Yeah. Hashtag yelling with love. That's a tweetable for sure.
Yeah. Right. And so I think that's one of those incidences where maybe you do like Zoom in with your family and friends to break fast. And maybe you invite as many people as you can into your Zoom. Don't do it with just maybe your parents who are far away from you, but do it with as many people as you can, like build your community out into the Zoom. And take some time to kind of honor that you're able to participate in Ramadan right now. And that's not something everyone is able to do for various reasons, right? If you're still gainfully employed and able to purchase food so that you can like have any meals with your family, something to take note of, like, this is a positive thing for me, right? If you're able to cook anything for yourself, if you're able to buy the specialty things that you look forward to throughout the year, like these are moments to be express as much gratitude as you can, because it can be very easy to lose gratitude in times of distress and isolation. And the more we express gratitude, the easier it will feel to engage with the spirit of the holiday, of what it's meant to be and what's meant to bring into your life and into your community. So I hope some of those are a little bit helpful, although I know none of it like reignites what this is supposed to be for you right now.
Oh no, for me, like one of the things that you said that resonated was inviting, like I look forward to inviting families to iftar, especially because I've recently, so we're on our 4th year of marriage, but for the last 2 years, I've been trying like our traditional recipes so that I master them during this time of the year. So there's dishes I don't make any other time of year, kind of like Thanksgiving. I don't make any other time of the year except this year. And then I like practice for weeks. And then I bring my family over, like, look what I've done. I'm sure, you know what I mean? And so that the fact that they're not here every year, I usually add 1 or 2 recipes that I haven't tried. And so the fact that nobody's going to be able to come over, but I loved your idea of, you know, inviting them over via a Zoom. And, you know, then my aunties can say, I don't know, mix it. Let me see what the consistency looks like. So I totally might do that, actually, like a virtual thought where, you know, we invite them over and just, you know, just share with them. It's not, to your point, it doesn't make up for the physical presence, but it's something. And so I think I'm definitely going to take that on. So I appreciate the idea. I love that.
And you'll find that you even appreciate the noise of your loved ones, even as they critique your food. You know, like the sound of their voices in your home while you share a moment that they'd otherwise be physically present for.
Yeah.
You'll find that it is soothing, even if it's bickering, even if it's judgment, you know, because you'll hear all the love that's always been there with it.
Yeah.
In a different way at this time.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're totally right about that. Like, you miss the noise of the masjid and the kids running around and the option to pray tarawih or like go play basketball in the corner. It's just like every aspect of Ramadan has changed for us. And if anything, you know, the month is about patience and perseverance. And so it's how do we use that during this time that's really having us to really tap into those spaces of patience and perseverance. This is like the ideal time to like really see how far we can go with it, but also be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'd say also, I know that there's like religious leaders like will pray, right? And I know some of them are doing it via Zoom.
Yeah.
Feel free to do it like via not visual, like just like listen.
Oh, nice.
Like connect to the word and to yourself in that moment. Because if you're experiencing the digital fatigue, like looking at a screen and looking at your Quran, like this might just be a lot for you at once, right? And it might not feel as restful as you otherwise would want it to be. But if you can just listen, that can often feel like, okay, I'm now connected with the messages that are being given to me.
Yeah.
And that can feel different as well.
Maybe just like headphones and then, you know, but the screen is not engaging. Yeah. I love that.
No, that's really great. This morning, interestingly, I have a goal of reading the Quran during this month. And so this morning, I'm just like, I kind of don't want to read this. I kind of want to hear it like I usually hear it, you know, because we do a juz a night, which is like a section of chapters. And so today I listened to it on YouTube. And I was like, wow, this was really, granted, it was at 5:30 because I have no boundaries around time. I was like, this was really peaceful to just sit here and listen. And I told myself, like, you're not looking at your phone right now. You're just going to listen. And so I really enjoyed that moment. So it's nice when someone else says it, because it's like, okay, I can actually solidify this. This is something that's good and that I can use in my daily structure or my daily activities.
There's something about just listening that forces you to focus differently.
Oh, yeah.
And you can be more present. I also encourage you to get dressed. Like, however you would normally dress, do the whole thing. Like, get dressed.
The hijab.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
And you know, at first you're like, oh, I'm getting dressed for the dining room. I'm getting dressed for the living room. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Because this moment is not less special because no one has come over.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that. I was nervous because Farah and I were talking a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, Farah, I haven't worn jeans in 4 weeks. And she's like, put them on, sis. You don't know how far you've gone if you haven't.